The problem is, you always worry that you've done something wrong. You can feel a deep gulp or a sweat coming on at the mere mention of authority. So, what happens? You never speak up at the right moment and you shrink away, yet you don't know why. What then happens? Well, you end up going along with things that you don't really want to, just to be certain that you don't rock any boats. In this episode, we are looking at how to balance your fear of authority with your emotions. And you'll discover why you fear authority, the patterns of authority versus your emotions, and how to find your own authority, even if people in authority generally terrify you. First, why do you fear authority? The main culprit is the fear of being judged. It comes from, normally, a past experience of being embarrassed or humiliated. Most likely going back to childhood when an adult didn't either protect you from others in terms of their little or large power trips. So that can be a parent who didn't defend you from the other parent, when they used maybe excessive means as punishment, or it could well be that you were left feeling exposed by bullies at school, where an adult didn't step in to stop it. So, what are the patterns of authority versus your emotions? The original source of your fear of authority has sat there in the unconscious. And that fear then triggers your emotions. So every time someone is in authority in your life, your unconscious throws up a red flag and deafening alarm bells. It says there will be possible consequences or punishment here just because they're in authority. So you'll hear your boss, as an example, being demanding, rather than maybe what the reality is, they're just asking you a question. And you'll assume the police want to arrest you, even if you just pass them in the street. And most importantly, your fear of authority stops you from asking for help. And that's because you assume asking for help means punishment. So the fear of authority isn't separate from your emotion. It triggers hostile emotion. So the best way to solve this is not to punish the emotion by telling yourself, don't be so ridiculous. The best way is to find your own authority and your own authority within, because then you'll calm your emotions when the fear is triggered. So how do you find your own authority? How do you get there? Well, what I found I got sucked into for a long time was assuming those you perceive as in authority automatically know more than you do. Okay, so you kind of think, well, they're in authority, so they must know more than I do. I can possibly know something, have more information on this than they can. You assume that they do. When you assume someone has more authority over you than they do, what happens? Well, you end up feeling powerless because you won't question anything. So what are 3 little things you can do to find your own sense of authority? Number 1, notice old traumas. Okay? When you notice yourself quaking at authority, become curious. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? And that's the quick way to spot if it's an old fear rather than the now. Okay, and certainly when it comes to the detective is the archetype of getting to the bottom of things. So if you think of detectives in life and in TV, they're always curious about getting to the bottom of things. If they were always afraid of authority, they would never allow themselves to get to the bottom of things. And you, as an intuitive sensitive, have innate curiosity to get to the bottom of things, to understand, to figure things out, to know if your instincts around something is true or not. Number 2, avoid becoming defensive. When you fear authority, you'll become defensive. Try to loosen up and ask yourself, what's the worst thing that can happen? And when you've decided on the worst, then ask, is that realistic? And the answer will be no, it's not realistic. Because when you are defensive, you are fatalistic. You'll see things as the worst possible scenario, and that only the worst possible scenario is going to occur. Then, if you then question it, you're freeing yourself from that. As the detective archetype asks difficult questions of themselves, but they're not afraid to be wrong. Okay, because in understanding where certain things are or what paths are going along, you then have the choice to work it out. If you're always defensive, you never have the choice to work it out. And number 3, separate fear and anxiety from the authority figure. Focus on the feeling of fear and anxiety rather than decide the authority figure is responsible for it. Okay, so rather than think, I got to project onto this person that they are responsible for my fear and my anxiety because they're in a position of authority, try and separate the fear and anxiety from that feeling. You'll then feel compassion for your inner feeling. Okay, you're then allowing yourself the compassion for, rather than deciding that this authority figure is judging you. And that, having compassion for that part, is the quickest way to release yourself from it. It will take a few goes, but you'll feel you can more easily balance your emotions with your fear of authority. And remember, it's not about perfect, it's about progress. So would you like me to help you accelerate your ability to let go of your fear of authority, to allow that detective, that curious part of you through, that wants to get to the bottom of things and understand stuff? The meditation accompanying this episode will fast track you to release your fear of authority once and for all. So give the Accessing Your Unconscious Fear of Authority meditation a go now, because it will push you out of worry and into your own power. The detective is always in their own power. And that's because you don't make logical decisions around the fear of authority. You make illogical decisions based on unwanted unconscious beliefs, which have been stored in the body often for many years. And even sometimes they have been passed through the generations, that fear, definite fear of authority, to you. As Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. So this meditation will help you undo those unwanted unconscious beliefs by releasing the energy stored in your body, like popping a bubble, just like that. To orchestrate magic in your life, simply make your unconscious conscious. And the fastest way to do that, to make your unconscious conscious, is by using my meditations. Even if you've never done a meditation before, it's fine. You just simply follow the words. You have time. There is always time for something this important. So if you don't already have access, you can download a copy for free from heidisawyer.com/30, written as the number 30, not the word. heidisawyer.com/30. Okay, so now you've looked at how to balance your fear of authority with your emotions. The next step is to learn how to notice emotions in your inner child. So guess what the next episode does? It addresses how to release suspicion to create a happy inner child. So make sure you set a reminder now to join me for the next session, which I will release on Saturday at 4 p.m. UK time, and I will then be in the Intuitive Sensitive Persons Facebook group for an hour from 4:30 to answer any questions that you have about this episode and to interpret your symbolism that you get in the meditation. Your unconscious shows you how to change things through symbolism. Numerous cognitive neuroscience studies state your unconscious drives 95% of your life. Your conscious mind only powers 5% of your world. The more you understand your own unconscious, the more you can understand the people and the world around you, which is why I've created this Facebook group. Because now it's the best opportunity in human history to redefine your life, your purpose, and your sense of meaning. I believe intuitive sensitive people are the new leaders because their sensitivity aligns with the new superintelligence, the deeper senses. So when you not only read my interpretation of your symbolism expressed during the meditations, but other intuitive sensitives experience, you develop your own fast link to understanding a further 95% of your world. How enriching is that? So if you don't already have access to this leader group of intuitive sensitive people, then visit isptribe.com. Okay, that's the letter I, letter S, letter P, tribe.com, all written as one word. Okay, isptribe.com. If you're not sure if you are an intuitive sensitive person, then visit heidisawyer.com/quiz to find out. And you might be very pleasantly surprised. Share this episode if you know someone who is struggling to overcome their fear of authority, because they will be very pleased that you did. So go now and listen to the free meditation, Accessing Your Unconscious Fear of Authority. If you don't already have access, download a copy for free from heidisawyer.com/30, written as the number 13, not the word. Do it now, because then you're not allowing the limitation of perfection to get in your way. We believe your capacity for empathy gives you a unique perspective. The way we help you access your uniqueness is through developing your intuition and your inner world. When you allow yourself this part of you, life is easy. So go now and listen to the powerful meditation. And always remember this: your sensitivity is your greatest asset. Until next time, bye for now.